Last time on Crypto Recap, we covered the possible, not quite conspiracy theory, but theory that the government actually popped the 2017 bubble. This time we're going to take a look from the other side and look at some recent stories that broke out about what might have caused the 2017 bubble. And then we're going to dig in a little bit about some exciting developments in the Lightning Network and that big underlying infrastructure that could be coming to the crypto and Bitcoin world shortly. We are joined again by Dave Seiler, Money Morning's cryptocurrency expert. Thanks for being here, Dave.
Always good to be here.
So let's talk about the big headlines. Bloomberg reported on one big whale causing the 2017 bubble. Is that true?
Well, people in the crypto world don't think it's true. This was a report that was actually a revision of a report that had come out in June of 2018 that claimed that a bunch of whales had caused the bubble to happen. Now, these same guys say, oh no, we were wrong. It was just one person, one whale that caused this whole thing to go up to $20,000. And the problem is you have places like Bloomberg and a lot of other mainstream media reported this as if, okay, well now we know the answer. It was one whale who caused it. But the reality is a lot of people in the crypto community, especially people who would know what happened because they were there back in 2017 when this was going on, said, well, this is a ridiculous thing to say. You know, of course, a whale could have influenced it. They could have started to push the prices higher. But to say that they were completely responsible for it is kind of crazy because as the people in the crypto community know, there was a huge rush into Bitcoin at the time. All these people were trying to create accounts on the different exchanges. It was so bad they couldn't even keep up. They were practically crashing the exchanges. They could not onboard the people fast enough. And it was all this new money, all these new retail customers that were coming in. And immediately, the reason they were coming in was to buy Bitcoin. And they were watching this price go up. Everybody wanted to get in on it. It was the FOMO, fear of missing out. Everybody wanted to try to get in before it was too late. And this rush of money caused the price to spike the way that it did. So what you have is these mainstream outlets are just reporting what these guys said about the whale, and they don't report the other side about people who were knowledgeable in the crypto community that that's not what happened. It's giving people, regular people who don't know much about crypto and don't follow it, they're getting a distorted picture of what's happening because the mainstream media are not reporting the other side of it. And there's already a lot of negative coverage of crypto anyway, and this kind of stuff just feeds it. And I think that's very bad, and they just don't do a very good job of reporting on crypto in many cases.
Mm-hmm. So turning to a more of a positive note, we've talked a lot about Lightning Network and the kind of the big developments going on the Lightning Network here and on Money Morning articles. There's been some theories and maybe some experiments going on about it, kind of the next big exciting development for Lightning Network. Can you explain that a little bit to us?
Yeah, well, what's happening is, and this hasn't really received very much attention, even in the crypto world, is that there's a group of developers who are working on making Ethereum payments that could go on Bitcoin's Lightning Network. And it would go in there and it would convert the Ethereum into Bitcoin and it would make it work. It's somewhat complicated, but the key is that you can use Ethereum on the Lightning Network and it's sort of interchangeable with Bitcoin. And what I like about this kind of thing is that the different cryptocurrencies have different capabilities because the way they were made, it's a lot of trade-offs. They have different strengths and different weaknesses. If you can create a system like Lightning where you can use the different cryptocurrencies with each other, you'll be able to draw on the strengths of the different ones. And I think that this has a lot of potential. And even though right now it doesn't seem like much and people may wonder what's the point of all this, why would we need it? I think it's the very early stages of a future infrastructure for the financial world that, you're not going to see the fruits of this for years, maybe like 10 years even, before you see this particular thing pay off. But eventually it will. And you just have to understand that, like right now, we're laying down the first railroad tracks, as if there were no railroad tracks. But if you know that when they started to build the railroads, eventually it became a very robust system that changed the country. That's what this kind of thing is. A lot of stuff in crypto is like that. And this is just one of the pieces that's being worked on.
Great. Well, that's exciting. We'll definitely keep an eye on that going forward and see how it develops. Thanks so much for joining us again this week, Dave, and we'll catch you guys next week, I believe.
I'll be here.